and welcome to Property Technical. In this episode, we are kicking off the How Much Will It Sell For series. So in this series, we will look at a number of properties and they're about to go into auction soon sometimes. And we are going to try and predict how much will they sell for. And I invite you to tell me your predictions in the comment section as well. There is a disclaimer at the end of the episode as well, which I invite you to have a look at. Now, let's begin with our property selections of this week. First property, number 6 Roxborough Park Road in Bockham Hills. This is a fairly well-presented, renovated property. Seems very green and in a very posh sort of area of Bockham Hills, or rather I should say posh area of Sydney rather. Some things that are good about this property is location-wise. It is close to Excelsior Public and very close to Bockham Hills High, which is a selective school. Now, Roxborough Park itself is a slightly busy road. However, one thing additional to it is that very close proximity to the parks and the upcoming aquatic center and the community center and so forth. So some negatives with regards to road noises, but positives in terms of what is within very much walking distance. The house itself is very well presented, as I can see. Some old features like the floor tiles is looking a bit dated, but overall very well fresh vibe to the place, bright colors, very well lit. All the bathrooms are renovated and a nice in-ground pool to go with. So a lot of the bells and whistles that we would desire out of a property in this area. And a few things that is also can be considered positive, also negative, depending on who you ask. 2 bedrooms are downstairs, 2 bedrooms upstairs. So if someone has elderly parents living with them, the downstairs bedroom is desirable. Otherwise, everyone, a young family would want everyone to be living upstairs, or a single level property would have all the bedrooms downstairs. So, give and take. The total amount of land that is on offer with this house is 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and the total amount of area is 695 meters squares. So not bad. It ticks a lot of boxes. So what do I think it will sell for? I estimate that this property will touch the 2 million mark or very close to that. The auction is on 5th of November 2021, of course. So the results I will announce on the episode 3. Now, moving on to the next property. 105 Ramsey Road in Picnic Point. Why this property caught my eyes? Well, the first picture they're featuring shows the dimensions. And when they show the dimensions like this, that pretty much gives it away that, look, developers, this is some sort of a development site. What kind of development do I think this will cater for? Well, it's a duplex site by the looks of it. It has 16 meters frontage on one side and 51 meter running the other side. So a corner block that can be nicely subdivided with frontage on one street each. It can be very desirable, and the location is actually not bad. It falls under the catchment of Picnic Point Public, which is a very desirable school to send your kids to if you have primary school kids. The house that is on the property itself is getting dated, but it is not unserviceable. So it does present this particular proposition that if someone buys this particular property, they can potentially rent it out. And I'd imagine it would rent out for at least $550 to $600, something like that. So layout wise, we have 3 bedrooms plus a separate, like a self-contained flat sort of a thing going on with its own kitchenette. The auction is on this Saturday, the 30th of October. And I imagine this particular land will go for close to 1.75. This is my estimation, but we'll see. It's a hotly contested area, that one. So if it overshoots 1.75 and goes to 1.9, even 2 million perhaps, I wouldn't be too surprised. Why? Because once the duplexes are made, then each one of those duplexes can potentially also fetch 1.6 million to 1.7 million in that area if done nicely. And I see that the land is over 1,056 meter squares, which gives each side of the duplex more than 500 meter square. So duplexes don't normally have that much amount of land in that area. So that would be a pretty big sized duplex. They could potentially put in a pool on each side. That would bump up the value. So it's a interesting one. We'll see. I'll report the sold price next week. Hopefully they will publish the price. Next property we are looking at is a duplex at 89 Albert Street in Revesby, pretty close to the last property we looked at, and it is being sold by one of the agents that I've worked with before. So this particular duplex is an interesting one. As far as features goes, it is pretty much standard for what we would expect in that area. Nothing out of the ordinary, good decent inclusions, some vaulted ceiling and feature windows, which is nice, and a alfresco. And the modern kitchen, not bad and reflective of what we expect in that sort of area. And bedrooms upstairs, a balcony at the front, there's a balcony at the back as well. Good modern bathrooms, a reasonable sized backyard. And the next thing is that it contains a 3-bedroom granny flat on the property. So additional potential income, or it bumps the number of bedrooms to 8 and total number of bathrooms to 4. This is a interesting sort of a proposition. In the long term, a granny flat of that nature would rent out for, I'd say, 450, maybe 500 even, because it's brand new and it's got 3 bedrooms. And with that, the value of the property goes up by at least $200,000, I imagine, at least as much, 200 to 250. So how much will this duplex sell for? In that sort of area, if it was just a standard 4-bedroom duplex, it would have gone for about 1.4 in this market. So I'm saying that it might fetch 1.65 million. So let's have a see how much it will actually fetch. The auction is on 27th of October, which is pretty much day after tomorrow, depending on when this video gets released. So yes, I am looking forward to the next episode where I'll bring the prices of the sold auctions, and we shall list more properties to follow, and that will be the series. We will list a number of properties, we will watch them and see how much they sold for. That's a good way to keep a finger on the pulse of the market, and an interesting way as well. We get to look at some interesting properties. And now for the disclaimer. All of the information that had been shared in this video is publicly accessible. I have shared no privileged information, and this video is not a financial advice. Please do not take this video as a advice for purchasing your next property or anything like that. We are merely commenting on some of the properties that are in the market for sale at this point in time. please do your own due diligence and do your homework, and definitely talk to the professionals about your financial matters. I am not the right person to be talking about finances. Well, that is all for this particular episode of How Much Will It Sell For? Tune in on the next episode where we will discuss the sold prices and we will look at more properties then. Until the next time, you take care of yourself.